Your new record, your new CD, The Women Gather. Carol Maylard, I was wondering if you could introduce it.
Certainly, certainly. The Women Gather is a song that talks about the feelings of women who have lost their loved ones due to senseless violence. I was really struck by what happened after Columbine when the parents in the neighborhoods started to say, oh, you know, that kind of thing doesn't happen here. You know, we anticipate it happening in other parts of the world or other neighborhoods, which they generally mean urban neighborhoods where they don't live. And you find that violence and things that just really, I think, hurt the spirit really can happen anywhere. And the song says it doesn't matter where you're living. It could be someone so close to you that is close as even as your own very breath. Your mother, your brother, your sister, lover, somebody who's very important to you can be affected, and where you live does not protect you from that kind of a feeling and experience.
Why don't we take a listen? Women Gather.
He was her only child, her baby boy. She was his second daughter, her father's pride and joy. Somebody's mother, brother, best friend, sister, lover. Maybe an A1 student running, hiding, taking cover. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. People say, not in this neighborhood. It doesn't happen here. Our kids have everything. What do we have to fear? But what about the ones who say this happens every day? Drugs and violence take our children. How much more death can come our way? The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. Don't you know some bullets find their targets? Bombs can take you right on cue. Some in the hands of babies or officials and their crew claim the brother had a gun. She fit the profile in my book. Running, hiding, taking cover. Didn't take the time to look. Somebody's mother, brother, best friend, sister, lover. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. The women gather, crying, tears that fill a million oceans. It doesn't matter where you're living. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're living.
The Women Gather. The name of the newest CD of Sweet Honey in the Rock. You've been together for a very long time. Even the newest member of the group, Nitanju, has been here for, what, 18 years you've been together, the newest member of the group. That's pretty amazing. And it's amazing that the group overall, Sweet Honey, has been together for 30 years. What is the glue that keeps you together and keeps this group going?
I think there is the music itself and the process of making music, and that it's a group of singers where the voice is the primary instrument. There's also being able to find African American women singers who are passionate about being socially conscious, community-based women, and also just unrelenting, unyielding hard work.
And brilliant leadership.
Yeah. We'll put that sentence in there.
Brilliant leadership on the part of Bernice Johnson
Yeah.
Reagan.
You're leaving. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Leaving the group.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to be doing?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
What matters?
That if you are alive and you are not seduced by your importance, you actually can hear sometimes something saying, you can't carry this load at this intensity. If you paid attention, you'd just step into a track that moved at a slightly different pace. So there's something about it that feels as if I'm listening to the rhythm of the universe, speaking to me both about how I can go on and how Sweet Honey can go on. And one of the things we're doing in this 30-year period is celebrating the survival of the group, but a lot of the internal work is trying to learn how to help create those sea changes so that something that appears to stop does not stop the work. And there are no real promises. There's just a commitment to go on even as I step aside. And I find it very much like almost all of the work I've ever done in my life. And I don't need to know what's on the other side. And I find it interesting, people say, what are you going to do afterwards? And it's just not an issue for me. Because I live by taking steps, and I do what's in front of me, and this is in front of me. So I surrender to it.
Can you introduce the song Greed?
I was thinking about human beings' capacity for evil and wondering if some of the things I saw human beings doing to each other was someplace within me. I mean, if they were human and I was human, I mean, could I actually ever do something like that? Is there something in the nature of human beings that means you could just do the most unspeakable stuff about other people? And I began to wonder, what is this disorder in the universe? What is this thing that seems to sometimes make human beings get so lopsided in relationship to each other and in relationship to the world that supports them? And I kept coming up with greed, that somehow there is something about needing more than you need. Not only wanting more than you need, but actually we're in a culture where if you don't have more than you need, you're a failure. And it is surplus possession that is indicative of success in a society. And there's something very, very wrong with that. And there's a lot of destruction behind it. And so first I wrote Greed as a prose poem, and then I wondered if I could sing it. I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Greed is a poison rising in the land. The soul of the people twisted in its command. It moves like a virus, seeking out everyone. Greed never stops, its work is never ever done. A creeping, choking, killing, invading everywhere. There is really no escaping greed's sneaky snare. I've been trying to think about how to talk about greed. I've been trying to think about how to talk about greed. I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Not partial to gender or your sexual desires. All it wants is for you to want to own, to possess, and to buy. Nothing seems to stop it once it enters your soul. As you buy anything, spending out of control. I've been trying to find a way to talk about greed. I've been trying to find a way to talk about greed. I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Greed-driven men created slavery. Black men, women, and children became somebody's property. It's been around a long time since before we began. Before there was a nation, greed drove people to this land. Maybe you don't know exactly what I mean. You don't really want to know about your and my greed. You may wonder whether you're infected by greed. If you have to ask, then this song you really need. Greed is sneaky, hard to detect in myself. I see it so clearly in everybody else. I've been trying to find a way to talk about greed. I've been trying to find a way to talk about greed. I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Now I can see it in you. You can see it in me. We can see it in big corporations all throughout the government. See it in the banks. I can see it in the military. See it in the church. I can see it in my neighbor. It all shows up so clearly. You and your greed. I've been trying to find a way to talk about greed. I've been trying to find a way to talk about greed. I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. I'm trying to find a way to talk about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed.
Sweet Honey and the Rock, singing Greed. You were in Seattle for the Battle of Seattle?
We were in Seattle for the WTO organization, and it was really a very, very important effort to be able to participate in a growing voice that said there really may be these people in the world who are getting together and making policy impacting on lives of people and the environment who answer to no constituency, but they cannot gather without witnesses. There needs to be some way in which people say, I know you're doing this, and I know it is not consistent with anything we've ever talked about in terms of democracy.